Appreciate your time, Frank. This gentleman has done wonders for sim racing, the real world racers that come into sim racing or go back and forth. Frank's responsible to get some guys out on track. So without further ado, Mr. Frank Swartz, Grass Paddock Motorsports, tell us what you do.
What do we call this thing? The Racing Line. I'm all out of sync. We got more people to deal with this week than what I'm used to. So thanks to my co-host, Jason, for joining us. Adam's back this week. And as you can see, we got a fourth sitting here. Megan Oversheet is already joining us to help us do some reviews and stuff. So thank you, Megan.
Let's go, Megan.
And help us. Good evening, Greg.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Hey, we're just getting ready to review the spec racers, and since we had an announcer in the waiting room, we thought we'd go ahead and bring you in.
Well, thank you very much.
There he is.
Hey, we got him.
Hey, Jason, we got you this time.
Cheers, guys. Thanks for having me.
We won't talk about the other time.
Our special guest for the evening, Mr. Dave Ogburn, and for Dave to introduce you to these two knuckleheads, you got.
Great to see you, Thor. Welcome to the fourth chair and the podcast this week.
No, thank you so much for having me. It feels surreal, like finally being able to talk to you guys. You know, I've been in this league for like what 2-3 years, and finally face to face.
Yes, of course, yes.
Jeff.
You're on the spot now, Jeff. So, welcome, Mr. Jeff Jacobson. Again. Great to have you here. Thanks for taking some time out to join us. We get to some fun part. That's why you're here, Jerry. This is our guest segment after the reviews. So thanks for sitting through with us. And
that was fun.
And
thanks.
Yeah, it's some good racing. So, well, first of all, we gotta say thank you to Trenton for taking time to come join us. He's one of the hardest working guys I know, and you can look there in the shop behind him and get an idea of what he does. So, as everybody sees, we've got Darren Ganji, and if you didn't know already, he is Mr. Sim Motion, where you can get all your sim rigs and equipment and everything. He's also the sponsor of that league we were just talking about.
Okay, go ahead.
Mr. Sean Ambrose, we go back forever, back to the very early beginning days of the Weekend Warriors, when it was broadcasted on another broadcast, GSRC, I don't mind saying it. Very good to us, and Sean was one of the producers, announcers, always great to talk with. So,
Mr. Edgar Sancinelli, Weekend Warrior, Frito Sport Racing. I don't know what all you do, but great to have you join us tonight, Edgar.
Yes.
I'm not saying shit. Oh, yeah, I literally. Whatever,
Yeah,
I give up.
there you go.
I know you've had a mute for me.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, when you
Yeah.
just for the views when Adam and you were there. I mean, it's
it's
jeez.
Oh, yeah.
And good evening, everybody. Welcome to episode really 35 this week. Thanks, Adam.
Yep.
Great to see everybody. Everybody's in the chat already. Tim, Guido, Michelle, good to see everybody. Guido, appreciate you. And you can see we've got our special guest, Mr. Randall McGrew, with us tonight. Thanks for taking time and joining us, Randall.
Hey, glad to be here.
Awesome. We're going to have some fun. Got some highlights to share. We'll get into Randall's stories and all that pretty soon. We've got a little special highlight for everybody later.
We don't have to do any of that. Randall's just here to fill that third spot. We don't really need to interview him, honestly, CV. We can just keep going if we want.
He's a little, what's the word? He's pretty well known to the Weekend Warriors crowd. So.
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
Yes, he is.
Other than his face. So.
Yep. He's already getting love in the chat. You're getting more love than I am, Randall, and they've known me longer.
Well, I am more likable.
And he has the voice.
He
So
does.
there you go. Yeah.
Absolutely. All right, let's get on to these videos here. FVs, I was a part of this broadcast, actually, so you guys get to hear me twice.
That pace car has already come down pit lane. The field now in the hands of our front row sitters, and it's very disorganized from the drop of the green flag.
At Laguna Seca for these and the Formula Fords.
I lied. I was part of the Formula Ford one, not the FVs. Just kidding. But yeah, here we go. Turn one, always going to be fun here.
Turn two.
Right, I kept saying that. Listen, it's turn one.
I know.
Let's be honest.
Yeah, it is, basically.
Coliseo, he's off the track. That's coming out of turn number 2. That's a big off-track moment for the driver who started right towards the front of the field.
Good evening, Mr. Brewster. Good to see you as well.
Reaction to something, yes.
Guido.
A little inconclusive there, but it looks
on the
like
pit
maybe a
road.
bit of a checkup in front of him, and he.
And then after that, they immediately.
Guido, you can't park there, bud.
Down the start finish anyway, and here it was. Let's follow Marzuki.
Yeah, break.
Yeah.
And Brewster got a piece of that. He runs off through the gravel.
There to as we see Perry,
Randall, we get
and I
into this
believe
during
that's
the
Samuel Parent going wheel to wheel, so Perry
interviews,
making
I'm
some
sure.
moves.
But obviously,
Definitely at the front, we
your
see Jim
series.
Brewster
Have you ever
cutting shapes
run
in the
the FR 500 around here?
On Parvinder
Around Laguna, yeah, that was our
He's
season
definitely
closer.
putting some pressure on
Oh,
Hinder. Hey,
well, there
I
you
can
go.
lead the race here. Maybe I can even pull away. Maybe
Are
I can
they
even
as
force you into
are
a
they as hard to
mistake
handle as
by
these
going
things around here?
super
Off throttle
quick in front
oversteer
of
and
you
stuff?
as we see Brewster once again leaving
no.
the track a little bit.
There's not
there,
really
looking
that,
for a
but
position.
they have their own challenges.
And Jeff Jacobson's going to be right beside him here into T1.
Yeah, look at Kurt Nunez in the 918 car. He's going to look to try and pick up the pieces if these two come to blows. They got close to it, and they touch again. That time, heading into the Andretti hairpin, Jim Brewster having to break the elbows as to hold on to that P14 spot.
Yes, we need to talk about that as well, Stevie.
Jim and Jeff.
He's actually had 3 wheels off the ground. He almost had two. He almost had two.
I heard they had little battles Saturday.
Through the corkscrew, and I think he set it
Guido's
up.
Guido's got a nickname
really
as well that
late
we
in
need to
I got a
bring
good
up
line
here
through
in the
here.
podcast.
We got it down here. This is definitely when a movable object meets the
is it safe for work?
unstoppable.
It is.
force,
It's
I
safe
believe.
for work.
Very same type of driver here, and they're still
look out.
games with each other.
Oh
So-
no!
They're very good drivers. They're pretty
The good old
aggressive,
Laguna
though, as
Seca
well.
always delivers.
Oh, yeah.
It sure does.
Through the kink.
Andrew.
This is going to
Everybody-
be. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Don't
Don't do it.
You know what? I'm going to let everything go on.
Oh, they did it through the
Send
kink.
it.
Through the corkscrew. Oh God! What a move!
Thinking, you know what? I don't
Oh,
want to
just
be
kidding.
involved in all this, and with that
Wow!
side-by-side racing
Great
happening
job
off
by
the
Alan to
first
hold
year,
on
and
around the
years,
outside
they may
there.
not have
Just
chances
kidding.
Andrew was
to
flying,
battle up
yep.
in front. That was tooth and nail. And
Everybody
you see how much
thinks
that gap is
Laguna
growing
Seca
in
is going to be an easy track because it's one of the free
Hell
content, but
no.
it's a challenge.
No, sir.
Especially
It is a challenge.
if you run it with real world weather in the middle of May in California in the
Here we
desert.
go. We've got a fight.
Yep.
That's Green taking a monstrous run.
140 track temp or something.
Yeah.
Slipping in behind Coliseo. Green on the outside, trying to go for a 2-for-1.
Doing it on
deal.
pizza
That is the
cutters,
Andretti
too.
hairpin. It's not really going to work out. You just don't have that momentum. I say that though.
Yeah,
Last
Andrew
two
is
taking a
moving. I
shallow
never
exit.
see
That's not
Andrew
going to
up here
help out
this
as well as
far.
one
He is
bit.
this
And
well.
there's Jason Green
I don't mean
getting
that in the
moved on
wrong
the
way,
160
but Andrew
mark. Jump his way
found
back
we
up
found his
into
track.
P4.
Wasn't expecting that to work, but it did, Ron.
As we see these drivers
Excuse
go
me,
side
guys.
by side, Coliseo and Green heading down
Turn two.
into turn
Here we
number
go.
1, about to hit the braking zone of the Andretti
See, Ron called it
hairpin.
1-2.
And Jason Green on the outside.
Yeah, he
made
does
this
that.
move work on Kane
I think I'm the
Velasquez.
only
One lap to
slow
go.
motion
Let's see if you're
broadcaster
able to get
commentator
Coliseo. No,
that calls it properly
two
turn
drivers who
2.
don't really have much to gain when it
It's-
comes to pouncing in this battle. Andrew
not gonna
Love
argue.
holding on to the Spec 2 lead. Alan Bass is holding on to the Masters
I don't agree
lead.
with it either,
And,
but
who knows,
that's the
maybe
number.
A
Yep.
podium spot, an overall podium would be better than just.
Yeah, when they call a little
They
kink
want
a
to
turn,
series.
it just
These
doesn't
drivers
quite
scoring
compute.
based off their overall finish
I guess
position, not based off
maybe
where
an
they
IndyCar
finish
would
in
have to
class.
Position.
feather
He
the
wants
throttle
to
through
get in
turn
front of
one,
these
but
2 guys by the end of the race. I think.
Maybe.
As much as he may be having those flagrant.
Say somebody just got
crashes
taken
and
home.
blink
Yeah.
that exists on the car. He's also getting his eye in for that
Oh, boy.
Ford Weekend Warriors race. At this
You know what?
racing
These highlights are going to be
track,
fun having another announcer in the booth with us.
Yeah, and he's
Now watch this. They're 2x2 now at this point, right?
Maximos and Tortello have also reignited.
It's a touch and go. Yeah, there's
Oh,
a
they
gaggle
did
of
it.
cars going through the corkscrew. Now, if I was going to go through the corkscrew in traffic like that, it would be in the Formula V's that I'd want to do it. It's
Yes.
one of the smaller cars, right?
Yep.
That or the Skippy, maybe.
Yep.
They're covered by a tenth and a
Formula
half of a
Fords
second,
have those wheels
heading down
poking
into
out
turn
way
number
too far
11
to do
at the
that.
End of this race. 28 minutes and 50
Oh,
seconds
that's
on the
true.
clock.
Jim Brewster said, "Hold on, four wheelers. A super bike with its front wheel in the air
Felix
definitely
Samoas, and
believes
he's gonna
turn
find it
1
with
is a turn."
side-by-side fight
Oh, there you go.
himself
See?
and
Yeah,
Tortello
yep.
heading down that start-finish
That's why
straightaway,
4 wheels are
cresting the
better than
hill
2.
through turn
Exactly.
number 1, down into the Andretti hairpin for the last time
I can't
in this
imagine.
race. One
I
of
can't
the
imagine
premier
taking a
overtaking
super bike
opportunities.
around
One
this
of the
track.
No
defensive
way.
opportunities for Felix
It would be
Samoas to hold
wild.
on to the race lead.
Do it clean, Ron, because it's been a really, really clean race for these guys so far.
Charles Bochelle,
Hopefully they
Formula
can
Whee!
make something clean happen here, but let's jump back up front. I think we're going to see a move starting to happen here. We have a bit of maybe
Good to see you, Mr. Charles.
maybe an incident from Tor there.
I think he may have tried to go for the move hang down into turn number 5. That's another challenging bet around this race.
Felix
He
and
lost
Tor,
out
what
temporarily
a pair.
above that
Yep.
run
The battle
at
in
turn number
these.
6, up that Rahal straightaway,
Last lap.
into the corkscrew
Why
for
not?
the last time.
Full
Tortello
send.
holding onto that inside line.
On the
Through
outside, look at that
braking zone,
momentum.
Samoa.
Yeah,
Oh, my
wow.
goodness.
Outside line,
Yeah.
Tortello
Wow.
having a dive out of it. He's
Absolutely
gonna have to
hanging
have
it out
extreme
and pinching
series
down
of
on him. It was
quarters.
that was a
Once
really,
again,
really
another shot
textbook
at Samoa to
outside
take the race
pass
lead.
in a
The
really
battle behind is still
tricky
flaring up.
spot.
Andrew
Yeah.
around the gases. We're going side by side. Kane Lasky
But
he's
not
done yet.
It ain't over.
No, it ain't over. Here comes Tor.
Hang on to that spot as Tom
No way he
Nah,
does it
he
around the
pinned him
outside to
down.
him.
Nope.
Nope.
Mega.
No,
didn't that's
work out
it.
for him.
It's done.
See, I've lost that race on the inside at that last corner before.
Really?
Yeah, in that XSLR race.
Oh, that's right, in the GT3s.
He pinched, no GT4s. I got pinched down just the right amount there on the exit, and it killed my momentum off. It was perfect.
Yeah, Jim had all groups included in that corkscrew last lap.
That's going to spell disaster. It allows Lasky to close up a little bit. He doesn't go for the
Oh.
move hang down to turn
They
11.
finished so tame compared to what they were doing a half lap.
No kidding.
You think?
Matter of feet, Lasky nearly got that move done.
A couple other ones here too. We'll have a look. Yep,
Oh,
that
boy.
was as close as she gets there without actually taking it. We got another one
Oh,
here with Perry
Spider-Man Jason Perry.
and Parent.
Was he going through
on
the field
last
today?
lap here as well.
Yeah. He
Lots
tried
of
to
great
stick
driving
it
through the
on the
corkscrew here
inside.
today. Some really good driving from our drivers today.
Yeah, he's gonna get in here
Still
though.
Through
He should.
the last.
Oh
section
no,
of
he
the course
doesn't.
Here, let's see how this one ends up, and it looks like Parent was able
I don't
to.
think it's
sweep
done
in
yet, or
front
it
of
wouldn't be a
Jason
replay,
Gass's
would it? Oh,
view
wow.
of the end of the race here as well, Ron. So
Oh,
close.
huge blink. Who is that? Oh my goodness.
These two competitors all throughout
Oh, he
the
came
race.
back.
Gases, your winner in the
Oh!
match, Andrew Love.
Oh, man, look at that.
You really trust your network connection right there, that's for sure.
Yeah, no kidding.
He didn't trust it that much. He was on the brake pretty hard. He saw that gap show up there off the drive off.
All
Big
right.
gap for the win.
Yeah, looking here at the
Huge gap.
at the results, Felix and Tor. Felix with what could be called maybe the move of the season around the outside of the corkscrew on the final lap. To take that from
was
Tor.
awesome.
Unbelievable move by Felix Samoas there. Andrew Love, 6th place. Spec 1 winner. Unbelievable drive by
Spec 2.
Andrew.
Yep.
I mean, in that, I don't know. We got to look at points here, which I know we're going to get to. But with Michelle Lynn in 10th, she gained. She
Andrew-
got she got some good points, but I know Andrew was in second in that battle.
Andrew's closing it up.
So, yeah, that's going to be super close. Alan DeGasis with the Masters win. Great job. Jim Brewster up there in 14th. Runner-up. Kurt Nunez rounded out your Masters podium there. So, yeah, unbelievable drive by those two. I mean, look at the gap they were able to pull on Jason, too. 5.8 seconds across the line.
You don't get away from Jason Green that much.
No,
I suspect that they were working together for the first half of that race while that gaggle was the gaggle of Americans were fighting with each other, having a good old Donnybrook there for the rest of the top 5.
All right, on to the FFs. Now you get to hear my beautiful voice.
That pace car has come down pit lane. The field down the hands of our pole sitter, Antonio Reese. He's already gunned it. The green flag is out, and the drivers are on their way. Samoa's getting a jump on Rasmus Rory. He's slotted in P3 right behind.
The way the tires stick out on the Formula Ford makes them look smaller than the V.
Yes, that's true.
Makes the tires look
Looking at
smaller.
him move around the outside is down the inside. That's full commitment. That must have been Dan Witzak down the inside into the Andretti hairpin. Full commitment from your Spec 2 competitor.
I think that may have been Kane Lasky as well. That's another send down to turn 1.
Andrew says he's going to miss out again this Saturday.
Oh, no. Evenly so far. Now, this is not
family comes first. That's for sure.
I think grandpa duties must be more fun than sim racing.
Who is that?
I can attest to some of that.
Whoever it is, they've gone off the track right on exit.
I can tell you dad duty ate.
Who that is dropping down like a rock.
That is smelly, isn't it?
Yeah. While we're watching this, as someone just goes spearing off through the kink.
Yeah.
Oh, no, that was turn 4.
Somebody's.
I remember this, actually.
Fernando.
A big one. I think 3 cars have been caught out in that.
I'm sorry, turn 5. My bad.
Still Antonio Reese leading through turn
I think you were right. That was the kink.
Actually, we're going to do it now. So here we go. This is the first incident we saw.
Yeah, it's the kink.
Yeah,
it was a kink. Yep.
Look at it. You can see.
Oh, look at that. That was a really optimistic move on the inside that led to that.
Especially with that sausage curb on the left-hand side. That's a tough.
Yep. That's what did it. Whoa.
Dan Witzak's lane is upside down, tumbling. That's the
reminds me of a certain MX5 race.
Yeah.
We saw that get a couple of moments ago.
There's a story there.
Yes, there is. Was that Mid-Ohio, I believe, that happened?
Oh. Lasky taps him.
Oh, he was the third one in there.
Net code collision there, and upside down goes.
And of course, the other two keep going.
Into that outside tire barrier.
It's always the innocent bystander that gets the worst.
I want you guys to look at this gap right now, the leaderboard. Antonio Race in first place. Great drive by Antonio. But look at Ian Joyner in second. Watch as these highlights progress.
Game to try and play here, Adam. Let's take a look at this. Heading down the right haul straightaway, or up the right haul straightaway. It is an uphill blast.
Into the court. No.
Just cooked it in.
Yeah. Good avoidance.
That happens so many times. You can see.
Sympathy.
Yeah, it happens a lot through there in these cars. I mean, again, off-throttle oversteer.
Is that what it is? Is it carrying too much brake in? Is that what's causing it? Or
yeah, and the elevation change at the same time.
Yeah.
And the track temp was not cold. I think it was like 115 at this point.
Spot to make a pass, but Nate makes it work. Unbelievable move by Nate Himmelsbach.
So Ian Joyner, he's just a monster.
Yep, there it was again. I mean, you can see him. It's just.
Oh my goodness! It looks like Nate Himmelsbach almost got into
that
the
big
back
check up
of
there.
The
Oh no!
Oh no! He saves it for one.
Solid from Felix Samoa's
Oh yes!
Oh my God!
On his wheels. Keep going.
Yeah, that is the number.
Put it in gear. Keep going.
Look at him. He's driving away.
Yeah, it looked like it.
What is going on here?
Hopefully he wasn't in VR because that would have turned into a vomit comment real quick.
Yeah.
On corner exit, hit that gravel.
That was mostly net code too.
Yeah, and nowhere to go, and then there he goes.
The side of Alan DeGas is bouncing up and down.
Yeah, tiddlywinks, Jim says.
Tiddlywinks, perfect.
Yeah.
These drivers, despite the fact they are 6 rounds into the championship,
you can just see everyone
it's a skating ring up there.
Yeah. A lifetime. time. Heading through the corkscrew. That's going
A
to be Sean
little
Doyle
bit
getting
too
a
much
move done
speed.
down the
Tap the
inside
brakes,
off
get
the
off the
20
throttle,
turn
and
number
around she
9,
comes.
But that was a
Yeah.
save of a lifetime from Jason Shen. To see this race approach the very end. Here's a battle with Tufts and Pollard. Pollard looking
sin
at
down
any
into
way
turn
in the
2.
book to get a move done down the
what
And
a
that's
inside.
perfectly
move.
executed. Perfectly
That was-
executed. You see how he checked up just a little bit more at the apex to make sure that the crossover couldn't happen. That is
crazy battle
textbook.
going on between Sean Doyle, Jason Chin, Teague Ashbourne, and Alan DeGasis back there in the back of that. So it may be spread
I think
out
there's
more
even
than
an
others
iRacing
right now of
tutorial
each
that
class.
shows that
There's
exact
still
that
more
exact
going on.
defense.
The last times in this race. We'll
Alan,
have
if
one
you ever
between
watch
those
these
two. We'll have
podcasts,
one
please send a
between
message
these
to
two. That's
Stevie or
side-by-side
make
fight
drop a
with Chris
YouTube
Montgomery,
comment
Juan
and tell me
Garcia
if
heading
it's
off to the midsection.
DeGasis
Side
or
by side
DeGasis,
into
because
sixth.
Ron and I
Montgomery
pronounced
with
it
the
differently.
commitment on that inside line.
I've always thought it was DeGasis.
Yeah,
and I've always thought it was DeGasis. So
between this battle in the mid pack, and it is
Whoa.
still bumping and banging. That was Alan
I thought it was
DeGasis
on one of
into
our
the wheels of
pronunciation
Teague
guides
Ashford.
even.
They're going to be side
I
by
sorry,
side into
could have
one
been
another.
Pronunciation guides.
Yeah,
pronunciation.
Fight for
Yeah,
the
I-
ages, 2 by 2 heading into turn number 2, and let's see how it's going.
On
to
the
work for
DeGasis.
those two
There you
and
go.
These two heading off through turn number 2. A lot of twos there in the span of a couple.
Randall,
As I
I have
think
always
Jason
been
Shen left the
amazed
racing
at
line,
your
heading down to turn
analytical
number 5.
skills
He's lost out that
about
spot to
all
Doyle.
these
Now
races
look down the
and
inside.
knowing
That's
what's going
DeGasis
on.
looking to
Too
stand
bad he's
and
not as
setting, and
fast.
runs
He
a
can
little bit
analyze
wide on
everything, he's
exit,
just
though.
not that
Gonna
fast.
get that move done to jump
I'm
into the
faster than
right.
you.
Ooh, shots fired.
Go.
Shots
I am-
fired.
Yeah, I think that may be
I am 43 years old, and I
very
spent
slow
most of those
contact
43
and
years
crash.
watching every
That's
kind of
Mikey
racing
Pollard
I
and Daniel Tufts
can.
coming to blows. That's heading through the second to last corner of turn number 10. Pollard with the hop, skip, and a jump through
You're
the grass.
still a pup.
Ian Jr.
You got a
is
few more years
race
to go.
leader at the end of all this. Antonio Reese
That's
going
fine.
to finish in second. Felix
I'm just looking for a leg to
Samoa is in
hump.
it all is going to be really out of gas.
Not going there. Not going there, Randall.
13th. Now 14th. Allen's out of fuel as well.
Oh yeah, this was crazy. So
Oh,
Yeah,
lots of
the
Thompson trophies given out this
yeah,
race,
we
I
talked.
see.
I actually mentioned that. So here's the deal. By the way, you want to look at that gap. Ian Joyner gapped the field by 8 seconds, and he crossed the line with 5 seconds to go. And it forced everybody to run one extra lap. And
What's
this,
happening here? Everyone's winning the Thompson Trophy today.
we had a race like that in AMS a couple seasons ago. It was the great happening in Detroit.
oh yeah. So again, Ian Joyner with the win, and you can see how Antonio Race is 8 seconds behind. If Ian Joyner and Antonio Race, if Ian Joyner would have been about 3 seconds to Antonio, nobody would have run out of fuel. But it was that 8-second gap that caused that fuel mishap for all of these drivers here. So Joyner takes the win beautifully, I must add. Great. It wasn't just him driving away either. It had to be a bit of a strategy call, too, on his part to make that happen.
Yeah, that's like 3 in a row now, isn't it?
It is. And Ron mentioned something as well. It has been now in the Formula Fords this season, it's been 3-3-3 for winners. So I think it was...
2-2 and now 3.
That's what it was. Yep. So yeah, it's
2-2-2 and now 3.
Yeah, it's unbelievable the string of wins that these guys have been able to put together. But Ian Joyner in first, Antonio Race comes home second, first in the Masters, makes up a huge chunk on Alan DeGasis. I think Antonio is really going to be doing well here in the Masters division, moving on towards the end of the season. And we're looking down here. Paul Jackson in 15th does take the Spec 2 win though. So congrats to Paul as well. So, I mean,
good job.
And I want you to see this again, guys. You see all the red. You see a couple of yellows mixed in there, but look at all that red. And then you see the green. What you guys have done this season in the Weekend Warriors has worked out perfectly.
Hey, about that, I want to give a big shout out to Andrew Love because he is definitely qualified for the Masters division.
Yes.
He was running Spec 2, and now he's running the Spec 1. So kudos to Andrew for really batting up.
100%. Yeah. Great race there at Laguna. And we're on to the Red Bull Ring. And I know I was going to race this, and then I fell asleep with the baby on, or not fell asleep, but I had a baby on my chest, and I wasn't going to make it. So I decided not to.
Pinned by the baby.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I heard this one was pretty wild.
So a lot of things to be determined here at the Red Bull Ring, waiting for that green flag to come.
I've never seen the spec racer Ford at the Red Bull Ring.
Neither have I.
But this was amazing.
Off to a flyer in that number 16 car. Gonna look to try and hold on.
Nice wide track. A lot of draft.
The first heavy
lots of room, but not enough room.
And opportunities to fuel save as well, so you can even get some pit strategy working there.
He's probably going to stick a 3 wide. He will stick a 3 wide coming out of turn number 1. Clearly, deciding
wow,
that now
Guido.
is the time to
Okay, Guido.
I agree, Guido. I agree.
Okay.
Guido's on you.
On the early stages with Felix Samoa as he jumped in front of Eric Luke, who's dropped down to third. One driver
run out of
making up
fuel
a
one
whole
time
lot of
in this
spots is
league,
going to be
Stevie.
Yanchi Lin. Jason
Well,
Perry up 2 spots as well. And you can see those two nearly coming to blows, heading down into turn number 3.
I had a feeling turn
I'll
3
tuck
was
in
going to
behind,
be an
and that's
issue
exactly what he
most of
did.
the
That's
race with the amount of
very
draft that
smart
you're getting up the
strategy
hill
there.
here.
Oh, I think we got a spin. Did I see a spinner?
Oh, yeah, you saw
we
a
did.
spinner,
That's-
Charles.
that's-
Oh, no.
There's more. That's Lasky.
Yeah.
Clearly, these drivers are saying that those bumpers
And
better
don't
get
forget,
worn out
the
by the end of this
racers
race.
are
Look at
the
Yanchi Lin in
elephants of the
background, though.
humans.
Holy cow,
Yes.
he took the run of a lifetime heading down that
How
back
many people
straightaway
did
off into
Yanchi
turn
pass?
3.
Hang on.
What they're really looking for.
Let's back this up just a little while because Jason zoomed in on this one for a reason. So Yanchi.
That's him in the blue and orange, right?
Yanchi's in the blue and orange.
Saying that those
He started
There he is.
better get worn out by
So
the
there's
end
four
of this
cars.
race.
Two setting
Look
up.
at Yanchi
There's
Lin
one
in the
you got on the
background, though.
inside.
Holy
Yep.
cow,
So you're gonna
he
get
took
three.
the run of a
Wow.
lifetime down that back straightaway off into turn 3.
What they're really looking for is these guys up front to start doing a little battling into the corners. It's going to slow them down as we see the sun move to the inside.
Yeah.
Fortune favors the bold at a track like this.
Especially around that hairpin.
I'm
surprised there isn't more incidents that we're
But here
looking at
comes
right now
Felix
through there.
Samoa's with a monster.
But honestly, the
coming
best
out of the
passing
corner.
opportunities at
He's
the
gonna
end of
make
this
it
straightaway, the
3 wide,
downhill
coming out of turn number
right-hander.
3.
You mean this
Yeah,
one?
this flat out blast. Marco
Yeah, this one
Panero's gonna
coming up.
back out of it. He does not
Oh,
have a
boy.
good feeling about
This
this
is one of the
at
best
all.
passes. You can
It'll
really
still be
outbreak
side by
people
side
here.
racing with Samoa's and Nazelli.
You called it.
Nazelli
Oh!
on the line. Here comes
Yep, there goes
Panero with the
Marco.
dive
Wow.
on Samoa's as he missed the apex a
Marco
little bit.
Panero.
Yes.
Not a surprise at all to see that name making moves like that. He is an assassin out there getting those spots.
Number 1, that could have ended in tears. Matt Thompson going to be the beneficiary in all of that. He's going to try and make it a 2-for-1 deal at the start of this.
That hairpin on lap 2, they stacked up after
Wilkie
Bradshaw spun.
Oh,
yeah.
Made. That's between Wilkie and Thompson.
Oh, but that was a great move by Josh, just deep down the inside of the corner, able to get the move made, get it stuck. Oh, as you see, looks like he got a little contact
And there goes
from
Perry.
behind by Perry. I did notice Josh is kind of backing up a little bit.
God.
Simply because of that front damage on his car.
Let's say you're Joshua Wilkie, for instance. You pull out to try and get a move done like he's doing right now. Down into turn
Wilkie is
2.
making some
That's gonna be quick
moves
off
here.
into the corner,
Holy
but
moly.
I don't know. He didn't lose much momentum, but normally that's
Heading down that flat out blast as Perry looking to get a move done down the inside of Wilkie off into turn number 3. Proves the point that I was talking about. You may not see that damage. It may have been Mario.
I ran the first 8 laps
and,
without my front clip on.
Boy, in the process of that, the front clip popped off the car. It never has been.
Yeah, it really is. And we see Andalo in there as well. He's still working his way up to the front.
Wilkie got a little too hot out there. Pulled the old, it was that,
These drivers do not want
who's
me to
the Red
get
Bull
a damn
driver that
story
did
out.
that?
Felix Samoa's and Nazelli side by side.
That
heading
wasn't
off.
Verstappen.
Coming
No,
out
it
of
was,
turn number 3 of this
the
field.
Checo,
Marco
Perez.
Panero still in the
Oh,
midst of
yeah.
all of this. Eric
He
Luke has
Perez'd
driven
it.
beautifully in that Spec 2 709 car, running strong as
Yeah, I was half
Nazelli,
naked, Jim.
trying to make
No
it
front
work.
clip.
Down the inside, off into turn number 4.
It's nearly as fast as normal when you've got a car.
Which half was naked, the right half or the left half?
Luke doing a great job of just kind of
yes.
riding forth. He's not really.
Oh. Uh-oh. Oh, no.
Oh, and that is running way too
Looks
wide.
like
as
Marco's
Panero
getting
and
his
Samoa
elbows
going
out a
down
little
to
bit more
slide
this
down
season.
into
He
turn
kind of
10.
was he was kind of the whipping boy for the past couple seasons prior to this. Looks like he's maybe had his fill of it.
Coming down pit lane, and I think he will be joined by Marco
Yeah, there's been
Panero
some
and
conversations
Actually,
with
no, I think they may have had an
Marco and
incident.
Felix and
Jason, I'm not sure what's going
Maurizio.
on.
Yeah, it's so weird. I
Oh
keep.
no,
exactly
it's
what
Maurizio
happened
that I'm
here.
thinking
I
of. That was
think
the
it's
whipping boy.
Close
I keep
turn
messing up
9,
Marco and
one driver
Mauricio,
coming down pit
obviously.
lane.
Yeah.
Three things
Kind of
that
sounds
go
the same, but
about
yeah, they
as
kind of have the
poorly
same
together
car
as
color
peanut
as
butter,
well.
tuna,
But
and
Marco
high
was the
grade
one that used to start from the
Oh,
back
yeah.
of the field race.
It was contact,
Yeah.
huge crash.
There's where
Heading through there,
Maurizio
all
checked-
of them got
huge.
wiped out. So
Yeah,
in all of
Maurizio
that,
checked
the
up, hit the
one breakaway
pits,
will be
and-
Nazeli Samoas has got
Hang on, I
himself
gotta
Chaos
nestled back
ensued.
into that battle.
And he checked up on the racing line instead of moving off the
Pit
racing
lane.
line, so
Three
it
things
caused some
that go
issues.
about
I'm not
as
going to say
Yeah,
this
so
was a
this-
bad
peanut
camera
butter,
angle,
tuna,
Guido,
and high-grade
but
military
Oh,
class
yeah.
explosives. It was
Absolutely.
Behind the
contact,
trees.
huge crash. Heading through there,
That's
all
the
four
that's
of them
it. That's
got
the lead
wiped out.
foursome there.
So
was.
So
all of that,
that's
the one
huge
breakaway will be
implications.
Nazeli
Yep.
Samoas has got himself nestled back into that battle.
Antonio, I was going to drive to spec, but like I said, I think. Oh, welcome in, by the way.
And we're probably going to be seeing these drivers.
I had just fed Aspen, and she fell asleep on my chest when I was burping her, and
let's
I
see
wasn't
how
going to
it
move her.
works out. These cars do have brake lights.
I
Oh,
see.
yeah,
Here it is.
oh, baba, yo, okay, that could have ended as yet again.
Oh, my wife!
Traffic involved in all this.
Yeah,
And
nice.
you can see how desperate Felix
Sarah and I used
Samoas
to
is
play
trying
Star
pick off
Wars
the
together.
drift
Oh, yes.
From the 555 cars, they came out of the corner. That was Paolo Bremislow on the inside. That really did not benefit Samoas
'Cause
at
she's a
all. Not sure
massive
why he did
dork.
that. He's still going along the race lead with some massive weaving.
We had a
Heading
great
down the
crew in the
Now,
chat
we've got a
tonight.
lap
Yeah, we
car
do.
In front of these guys are
They heard that Randy was going to be here. They all
Yeah.
showed up.
But we got a couple other cars that are up there that they'll be gaining on over the last few minutes of this race. So that might be involved.
Yancey's in there looking to make more moves here at the end of the race.
Okay.
Yeah, but
I have some insider information on this. Sounds like there may have been some shenanigans at the end of this race.
About this at all, Samoas and Panero, they're side by side, hang down into turn number 1. Look at Samoas tracking mid lane.
What we got, like
finish right away off into turn number
5
1.
minutes.
Panero will get the move
about
done,
4
but
laps.
haven't ended up seeing Panero lose a race lead. We may end up seeing P3 to 30 of Yanchi Lin jump into the race lead. He's going to split the difference, maybe try and make
He
it
is in the
3 wide
worst
almost
spot in
down
all this
into turn
because he's
number
got
3.
Yanchi behind
This is
him and he's
getting
trying to get around
really,
Marco and he
really
just can't.
dicey.
He can't
I don't
figure
have
out
a
how to
feeling
open
about
that
this.
can
Here
quite
comes
yet.
Jason Green.
So he's having to defend.
Bringing
It's
Eric Luke
such a
with him.
tricky spot to be in
So
that
now
second
that
position
group
on a
is
track like
these
this
guys
because
up
if you
front are
make a
fighting,
move and
they're
it doesn't
adding
stick,
more cars to this
not only are
pack,
you
it's
losing a
gonna
spot,
make
you're
things
probably losing
really
the track.
interesting here
Hey,
for
Ron.
the last 5 minutes.
Holy cow, they're close to making contact coming out of turn number 4. Bump drafting in a spec racer forward.
She's calling you out, Randy.
It can work.
And then
but
here
if it
comes
goes
Jason
bad, it
Green in
goes
the background.
desperately,
Yep,
desperately
they're
wrong.
coming.
Here
I'm
comes
like
here comes
fire
the
in the final
shenanigans.
5 minutes of
From
this
what I
race.
heard.
Yeah,
This is
but-
going to be some fun. If you are Jason Green, what do you even think? It's going to be a case of deja vu drama there, a double DQ. He was able to pick up the race.
Billy in the house,
Atlantic,
Ron and
away
Michelle.
with the victory
Yep.
in the final
Here-
5
here we
minutes of
go.
this race.
Yeah,
He
but-
finds himself P4 of a 6-car pack full of absolute insanity. Felix Samoas, though, coming down pit lane, and I have a feeling that was for a black flag. He picked up a black
Samoas
flag.
hit the 13 limit
Very,
for a
very,
drive-through.
Very fast.
Yeah,
And I
it is
think he got a
very
pit
tight on the
speeding
incidents
penalty
in
or
these
Yeah.
leagues.
speeding
So
penalty.
especially on a track
He's
like
40
this, where it's
seconds
so easy to pick up a
slower
couple of
than
those
everybody else as we get the battle in the
tricky
track.
off tracks. Then
they
a couple
come
little
to
contacts
blows.
like that,
That's
suddenly
Yanchi
you're going to be in
Lin.
trouble.
Marco Panero,
And right
Jason
there,
Green
guess
gonna
what
get caught
happened
up
to
in all
Marco?
that. He's not going to try and get moved on Yanchi
13X.
Lin in the grass
Yep.
coming out of turn number
Can we
3.
talk about
See
this,
the
Stevie?
kickouts
We'll talk
on
about
that
this
front
after.
Yep.
left tire.
Yeah,
That's
we'll
going to
talk
slow him
after.
down like a parachute, hang down some of the flat out blasts around this racetrack. They're coming the white flag
Full
this
send
time
by-
by,
full send
and
by
these
Yanchi.
drivers are not wasting
Okay.
any time. Yanchi Lin not trying to get moved on to retake the race lead, and the 160 of Jason Green will be on the inside line down into turn number 6. Marco Panero in the 16 car. We can't discredit him either.
And
Lots of these
we're
drivers.
like-
this has
in a
been
tough spot there.
disastrous
You can
event
make
for
it
all
work
of
on the
them.
outside
They've
now. He
picked
went
up
way
black
off track
flags.
there, so
Marco Panero and Yanchi
He's got-
Lin
he's
have
gonna be
both
getting
picked
close to the
up into
13X.
point
He's clearly
black
got
flag.
X's to
That
give
could be
because he
part of the
does
reason
it
why
again. Well,
Yanchi
you can
is
get to
fighting
the
this as
inside
hard
there,
as he
but
can. He's like,
he's
hey,
definitely
look,
got
I
X's
have
to
no
give
skin
here.
left in
Unless
this
he's
battle.
using
I just
X's,
wanna have some
he already
fun.
has the
Marco
black,
Panero
and he's
against
now just
Justin
racing
Pulling
Jason.
Anfield. 14 spots. The
Well,
drivers gain more
yeah.
than Andre Favini, but it's a battle at the front. Jason Green trying to make something stick around
At
the outside.
some point-
But here comes Eric Luke. Some more battling going on right behind. That's Andalo Gallo Thompson.
Eric Luke in third?
Way, 3-wide fight.
Yep.
Holy crap.
Of this race on lap
Well,
23.
we're not done
Lots
yet.
of threes there, but here's the three I'm keeping my eyes on. Yanchi Lin holding on to that.
Yangtze on that last lap got black flag for incidents.
Maybe a bit of contact going on.
And decided to go ahead and race it out.
Any way in the book to get past
so
Green
we'll discuss that a little
at
bit.
the front of this field. He is leading it. As
somebody ran out of gas.
What in the world has happened to Joachim Osbeck? He may have run out of gas, but the front
Uh-oh.
of the field.
Oh, my God. Hey, whoa. Hang on. Not only did Joachim Osbeck run out of fuel, where is he? I don't think he made it back to the pits. So for the first time, nope. I can't be the only one here, Stevie.
Going on involving those two competitors. Eric Luke now trying to find any way in the book to get past Green hit the pack, but Yanshi at the front of this field.
Boom. He is not in the pit lane. That's all I'm going to say.
As that's a moment. What in the
world
you're
is
right. Joachim Osbeck? He may have run out of gas, but the front of the field, it is Yanshi Lin leading them, heading off through turns number 9 and 10. But that outstanding black flag, he hasn't served it. That's going to net him a 40-second penalty. So at the end of this race, win number 3 on the season goes to Jason Green, the 160.
Yep. Jason gets the win. Eric Luke second. How about that?
Yeah, so Jason Green, Eric Luke. I'm telling you, I don't know if the podcast makes you faster or what, Stevie. I think it did. So Eric Luke.
Well, it hasn't worked for you. You're on here every week.
Wow, Randall. Wow.
Eric has been coming on strong every week. He keeps getting stronger.
Mm-hmm. So,
and he's already said he's going to Spec 1 next season.
Yeah, unbelievable drive by Eric to take P2 there. Jeff Fritcher. Look at that. S1, S2 Masters round out the podium. Red, green, yellow. Holy cow, I didn't know it was Christmas, guys.
More importantly, red, white, and blue locking out that podium.
Yeah, exactly.
USA.
Flavio Mondalo comes home fourth with Marco Pinero taking home fifth place. Matt Thompson, you know that guy, Randy.
Yep.
Matt Thompson comes home in sixth.
Yeah.
I met Matt Thompson at Hallett Racetrack last weekend. So.
Oh, heck yeah. Let's see here. Jim Brewster, second place in Spec Masters. And looks like Flavio Andalo and Marco Pinero are going to round out your grid for the S1 class. But got a bit of insider information here a little bit earlier, Stevie, and we can come back to the podcast here real quick. But all
right,
I heard that obviously Yanshi and Jason know each other very well. We all know Yanshi. We all love Yanshi. Yanshi was racing Jason extremely hard because he wanted Eric to take that win, from what it sounds like. And I don't think it was anything against Jason Green there. We are all friends with each other there. I don't think it was anything against that. But what do you think about
that? He admitted in I think it was the admin chat for the Spec Racers that he was trying to help Eric get the win.
Mm-hmm.
And I told him later today, I finally had a chance to watch the broadcast and I saw what happened and what he said. And I'll tell you, and I told him, and I'll tell anybody, influencing the outcome of a race is not right. You don't go there.
Right.
It's the same as, somebody else mentioned a lap car impeding the leaders and influencing the finish. He knew at that point he was going to be penalized, so he wasn't racing for the win, and he should have backed out of it. And so that's my stance: is if you're influencing the outcome of a race, it's going to be a boot.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair. Well, let's get over that real quick, and before we get into this interview with Randy, we've got something to show you guys here, I think. While we're still talking about league stuff. So I think there's a man from Italia named Guido.
No, let's do the points first.
Oh yeah, duh. Sorry, Stevie. I'm getting ahead of myself here. Yeah. Jason Green here in the Formula V's 572. Good luck catching him, Nate. But watch out because Felix is at 500 points. So that battle is still up for grabs big time. And now we're halfway through the season, a little over halfway right now. So this is going to be close. Michelle Lynn, Chris Shriven, and Jason Greider in Spec 2. Andrew Love, I expected to see up there. But
I think that just flipped.
Oh,
Jason Greider just put him down.
Got it. So Jason Grider. Oh my God, it's Jason Grider. Holy crap, Jason, you're doing well this season. Keep it up. Whatever you're doing, dude. I know you're listening to the podcast right now. I don't know what you're doing, but it's got to be all that XSLR practice, I think. But Jim Brewster there and Kurt Nunez sitting 1 and 2. It's a pretty close battle. Nick Tullo sitting in 9th place overall, but 3rd in the Masters division.
Yeah, I don't think everybody's got 6 races on them yet either, or 7 this week.
Yep. And here is where the battle begins. Formula Fords, Felix Samoas, Rasmus Fiori, and Sean Doyle. Those are very, very close together, and that will probably change throughout the season again, so keep an eye on that battle. Dan Witzak in 4th overall, though, and in 1st in Spec 2. Looks like
he's kind of running away with that.
Yeah, Paul Jackson, Dustin Meaden there rounding out your top 3. Antonio Race is killing it in the FFs this season. 368 points compared to Jeff Webker's 290. Jim Brewster sitting on the podium, though. That's the second time we'll see Jim Brewster here in the standings, and 3rd place in the Masters at least. But Jim doing a great job. Retirement's working out for you there, Jim. Jason Green again in the SRFs. 645 points compared to Maurizio Nazelli with 550 and Felix with 450. Obviously, these overalls don't look like they're working out like they should right now. It's not accounting for drop weeks, like you said, right?
Well, it doesn't account for bonus points within class. It's like overall, the overall positions is overall finish. So if like Eric doesn't show, let's see, it doesn't have the bonus for leading the lap overall, but leading the lap in class. So yeah, that's the difference.
Yep.
But
okay, got it.
It's a little confusing, but
yep, that makes sense, kind of. So Eric Luke sitting there in 4th position with Matt Thompson. Hey, there's the man.
Look at that.
6th place overall. 383 points with Paul Jackson 3rd in class as well. Tom Gradwell, Brad Cathcart, and Jeff Fritcher. Oh my goodness.
What a battle.
That's a battle right there for 2nd right now in the Masters class.
Yeah. Well, for even the lead, because Brad's not that far behind Tom.
No, that's true. I mean, 30 points. That's not a big change, especially. I mean, it only takes one race. Yep, only takes one race. Got anything to say about the standings here, Stevie?
Nope. I think we're good.
All right.
It's going to be interesting.
Speaking of interesting, welcome to the premiere of something that Guido has done here. He's done some music for all 3 different Weekend Warrior leagues. He's posted it on the Discord. I think most people have heard some of them, but he's got a little premiere to send us tonight. All so right. Hang on to your hats. Here it is.
First time under the lights, hearts racing like the car. Dreams louder than the engine, pushing limits near and far. Crowds roar like thunder, tires scream on every turn. The fire in my chest said, now it's your time to burn. I was flying down the line, wind and glory in my mind. Every corner, every fight, I was born for this speed. But I never thought to check the one thing I need.
Randall in here and
before I hit the grid.
He's got his lighter out.
Mid-race, I'm in the zone, passing legends left and right. Every lap a new horizon, every gear shift feels just right.
That's tough to do in a V2.
Yeah. Pit crew's got that gleam, I see the checkered flag in dreams. Tastes like victory in my mouth, or so it seems.
It seems.
Yeah, Tamara, some of those are still analog around here.
Flying down the line, destiny and finish intertwined. gift feels just right. Pit crew's got that gleam. I see the checkered flag in dreams. Tastes like victory in my mouth, or so it seems. I was flying down the line. Destiny and finish intertwined. I was daring fate with everything I could give, but I forgot the one thing I need to live.
Here it comes.
Didn't check the tank before I hit the
damn it,
grid.
Guido!
Guido, I gotta say, your accent really goes away when you sing.
Minute 22, I feel it.
No,
Just
Guido.
a stutter, not a scream. Like a whisper from
Guido.
the engine, cutting through the speed and steam. Something's wrong. The pedal's
Guido.
soft and now I know.
It's not the only thing soft in that car.
The dream starts to sputter, then it lets
Guido.
go.
Brother.
No flames, no crash, no enemy to fight. Just silence in the cockpit, blinking fuel light. So close to the line, I could taste the fame. But empty tanks in the
Guido!
fastest game.
Stop it!
You heard, isn't it?
Was flying down the line.
Oh my God!
Heart full throttle, never saw the sign. Now I'm sitting still while they race right by me. Next time I'll remember what my pride won't let me see.
I know what the next rhyme is.
Always check the tank before
No!
you hit the grid.
Again?
Yeah, check your tank before you hit the grid.
It's not the one you heard before, is it, Adam?
Nope, I have not heard this one yet. Oh.
Bravo.
Yeah.
Guido Marzuki there with the amazing AI.
Yeah. Awesome job, Guido.
You know, Guido, I may still have a little bit of pull at SMB. You're probably fired next weekend, buddy. Sorry. See you later. Damn, that was good, Guido. Good job, man.
That was
wow.
yeah.
That was.
You
pretty
said
cool.
you had some of them from Guido that you had seen this, and I thought, damn it, Guido.
No.
And then he said, no, he hadn't heard this one yet. And I was like, okay.
No, Guido sent me the FF and the SRF. He did not send me the FVs. Clearly, I now know why.
Yeah.
So
that's not the FV. There's another one for the Formula Vs. That's.
Oh,
right on
that's
too,
just
so.
that's just one that he wanted to premiere tonight. Okay.
Yeah,
at
for
least,
you.
At least we don't have to listen to that every weekend.
Yeah.
Thank God,
Yeah.
Guido. We've done something right here.
That was the Thompson Trophy song.
It was. Yeah, I believe so. Randall, were you commentating that race? I don't
The race
know.
where you ran out of fuel?
Yeah. Was that you on
No,
comms?
I did not.
I don't know who was on comms, but I believe it was my first race. With the Formula Vs, and everyone's like, holy crap, this guy's up here. I was running for the lead. And
yeah, because you had no fuel in the car.
yeah. Yeah. Come to find out, 4 gallons was not enough around that track. I needed 4.3, and I was exactly 0.3 gallons short of the line. So yeah, it was Mid-Ohio, I believe, Dan. I think you're right there. Maybe
Or Lime Rock?
No, it was not Lime Rock,
Nope.
because I remember there were 2 chicanes, so it went. There were tire barriers on both chicanes. You went uphill and downhill, left. So it was a left-right chicane, then a right-left chicane at the bottom of the hill.
That sounds like the UK track,
Olton Park.
Olton Park.
That could have been what it was. But yeah, I was running with the leaders. I was like, why the hell have I done this? I'm up here. And then I looked up at my fuel calculation, and I was screwed. So at that point, Stevie, like we just talked about, what I should have done was come into the pits to get more fuel, right? No. I said, screw it. I'm up here. I'm racing these guys. I'm going to race them. So I raced them until I ran myself out of gas.
Yep. All right. That was a awesome job. And if you haven't heard his songs that he's done for the other leagues, they're coming.
Oh yeah.
So great job, Guido. Appreciate all your work. What can you say?
Yep. Yeah. Ron said he was on it with Josh, so that's when that happened. When Josh Wilkie and Ron Mons were producing that one.
Okay.
So yeah. Anyways.
Hey boy, when I came in on Sunday, they could not wait to tell me how you ran out of gas, and that's when it started. That's when the Thompson Trophy became a thing.
Yeah.
So I knew how butthurt you'd be about it. That's the 100% why it got started.
We had the little icon trophy and all that stuff.
Well, the thing is, I think it's now past the point.
It's a thing.
Yeah, it's now past the point of like a fad, right? This is now sticking, and I think that's what's pissing me off more is the fact that I'm going to be known for that forever.
Yeah.
There's a joke about a goat in there somewhere.
Oh yeah, exactly. Right.
We're not going there. We're going to move on and get into our guest segment.
Sorry, Randall. This is just like Michelle. This is another Michelle podcast. I hope you know that.
Yeah. So I'm sure you've seen some of these, Randall or Randy, whatever you prefer to be called. But I always like to start off with asking you or our guest how you got started in sim racing. Where did that come from? How did it progress? All that kind of good stuff.
I think it would have to really, if I were really going to say where it started, it would have to be when I was about 7 years old and I got the chicken pox. My dad went to the video store, and that's when video stores were still around. Dad went to the video store and rented a Nintendo Entertainment System and the game Rad Racer. And I played it at just about every minute that I was awake for that week that I had chicken pox.
Well, if you didn't tell us your age before, you just dated yourself. So.
And I was hooked. But if we're really talking about sim racing, I was, Gran Turismo I was in the target audience for all the Gran Turismo games. But my first wheel and pedals was a Driving Force GT, and I didn't have any sort of rig or anything. I just clamped it to an ironing board.
Mm-hmm.
And was playing it in my living room. That's when it all started.
You clamped it to an ironing board.
Yes.
Wow.
I clamped my first steering wheel to a portable TV tray, one of those ones that fold up. I set it and clamped it on that.
I eventually graduated to that, and I was doing a rally stage on one of the Gran Turismo games, and the force feedback of it ripped the top off the TV tray. I had to go back to the ironing board.
You're telling me, of all the pictures you sent me, there's not a picture of you racing your game with an ironing board. That's the picture that we needed to see, Randall.
Yeah, I don't think that there is one.
Oh, man.
That was my first sim racing experience. And I used that wheel all the way up until I started iRacing in 2018.
Okay. Which you come up through rookies, obviously. Were you all at road course or were you more oval?
I was splitting my time pretty evenly at the start. But I honestly found the oval experience to be too boring.
I'm sorry. Sarah just came in with a zinger. My bad.
It's too boring if they didn't have cameras. I couldn't sit still long enough while the guy was under the hood. I honestly found sim racing on oval stuff because I was a huge oval fan growing up. I found sim racing oval stuff to be just boring. It was just too boring, and the people talked too much. I wasn't interested in hearing everybody's opinion about everything. So I pretty much stuck to road racing. So came up through the MX-5s, and then I was onto the Skippies in the roof. And I blew through D license, so those were both D licensed cars. So I just stuck in those for a while.
Yeah.
And then jumped up to GT3 after that.
Well, where did the announcing come into play?
That came into play when Adam. So everybody knows. I'm sure everybody knows. I'm the dictator for the American Muscle Series. The benevolent dictator.
Benevolent dictator is what he calls himself.
Yes. I may be benevolent, but I am still a dictator. I will remind people all the time. We were looking for a broadcast for the American Muscle Series, and I had posted on the iRacing forums and never really got any bites. And all of a sudden, this weirdo messages me with his name as his Discord username, and it says, "Hey, I have a broadcast company. We'll carry you."
I have
So
no
was like,
idea
okay,
what I'm
cool.
doing.
Yeah. So I'm like, that's cool. We don't expect a whole lot. And so he started broadcasting us, and then he started picking up other leagues after that. And he put out the call that says, "Hey, we'll pay money. We'll give you money." And I was like, "I like money.
Yep.
How hard can this be?"
Yeah.
So that's when I got started doing broadcasting. I think it was was it the MX5 World Tour was the first series that I commentated on. Maybe?
Yeah, it was Spec 5 World Tour. So it was, I think the OG league was AMS. You guys, between you and Cross Touring Cup, the one that Rob Schwenkler ran, it was you two, and then Spec 5 World Tour came in, and then it just blew up. I mean, we started getting leagues left and right, and it turned into a thing where I was doing it by myself. I was trying to commentate everything by myself, and I was like, "Oh, hell no, this ain't gonna work." So again, I put out that post, and Randall's like, "Sure, how hard can it be? Let's do it." And he obviously did some Twitch streams back then. By the way, if you guys don't know, go watch Finny McFinger on Twitch, and there is a video of him wearing a cowboy hat while he's doing American Truck Sim. So just make sure to go get some screenshots of that. But yeah, so he had some experience. So he came in, and man, we just hit it off from there. And the rest is history, I guess. You became an admin of SMB for a while. You helped me grow that company. Thing. Yeah, as steward, we tried some stewarding for a while. Yeah, we did all kinds of stuff in SMB. And Randall was between myself, Rob Schwenkler, and Randall. Those are the three that started Slow Motion Broadcasting. So you're looking at the guy that started it with me. So pretty crazy.
That's some history there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a client, and I helped get it launched.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, I was mostly just along for the ride.
Well, I started as a client and then moved in to help them keep going. So
it's kind of the business.
They
model.
pull you in. Yeah, they pull you in.
Yeah,
we'll sign you up. And
well, Stevie, you started as a client, right? And then I was like, I can't do this anymore. So I
gave him too much work.
Exactly, you did, and I'm glad you did. And look at what Slow Motion Broadcasting, and I mean, this was my main goal, as you know, Stevie and Randall and everybody from the start was to get this big. I knew we could be able to compete with, those top tier companies just with the talent that we had and what we do. And none of it would be possible without none of it would be possible without either one of you guys right now in the room. So pretty cool stuff.
So was that your first league and that's the only one you've continued to run, or how'd that work, Randy?
No, I did. I ran a couple other leagues. When I was streaming regularly, I was on again and off again involved with the Sim Pit.
Okay.
And I had another group that I was with called Logically Gaming, and we kind of did our own little leagues. And so we had a couple leagues that weren't very serious. We had a Legends on Road series before Legends on Road was popular. I used to do, when I was streaming, I used to do community day races on Saturdays where I'd host a session and we'd do things like that, which wasn't really a league, but it was kind of league-like because it happened every Saturday.
Yeah.
It wasn't until I drove in the Extreme Motorsports leagues on Mondays that I saw just how serious you could get leagues in iRacing. And I was like, I want the league. The first league I was in with them had the Mustang in it, and I was driving it, and that's when I really fell in love with that car. And I was like, we need a Mustang series that's in a serious league like this, and that's what I wanted to cultivate. We had been running a Mustang league in the sim pit that I had handed off to somebody else because I had taken a bit of a sabbatical from iRacing.
Yeah.
I came back to iRacing as the guy that was running it was ready for a sabbatical from iRacing. So I took it back from him and rebranded it away from the sim pit and just made it its own thing. And it took off immediately. And we haven't looked back.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a very well known league and attracts some big names. So it's awesome to watch.
Yeah, I do have to give a lot of thanks to Matt Malone. He provided so much exposure to that league that attendance, like a lot of leagues when you're starting up, like you're really worried about attendance, and it's never been an issue in this. Like, I don't think there was a single race that we've had less than 24 drivers.
Wow,
like if I have 24 drivers show up for an AMS race, I'm like, where is everybody?
Yeah. I know what you're saying. I mean, the Weekend Warriors, we started off good to get 10, 15 coming in, and then it just kept growing, expanding, and now, like you see, it's pretty solid big grids too.
Yeah, I mean, we can. I guess I can ask this question now. The benevolent dictator that you are, Randall, and the not so benevolent dictator that Stevie is, to see two leagues that have grown to a point. I mean, and you guys have two completely different leadership styles. But when it comes to Randall and Stevie, but yet your leagues put 30, 40, 50 cars on the grid every weekend. And meanwhile, I'm over here in XSLR struggling to get 15 people on the grid. I mean, how have you done it so well?
I think the first thing is fostering a arena where people are allowed to get their elbows out. People are allowed to race hard, but if you cross over the line, there are repercussions that are immediate or relatively immediate, such that you know that somebody's not just going to come in and wreck you.
Right.
And giving people the chance to race each other hard and build that trust with each other. And it kind of takes care of itself from there. And if anything else, I think the other part of it would be, this is probably more particular to AMS, scheduling. I've watched series after series after series of official races on iRacing just turn into absolute snoozers because they run the same tracks. The people vote on the tracks. They use what the people vote for, and people are stupid. People don't know what they want. That's why they need a dictator to say, no, this is what we're racing.
Yeah.
I don't care if you don't like it. Thank you for the $20. You don't have to race if you don't want to.
Now, at times you're right. It does come down to somebody having to say, this is it.
Yeah.
You know, totally agree.
Got a question in chat here, by the way, Randall, for you from Flavio saying, do you have some special moments you remember with the Weekend Warriors when you were on comms for that?
Yeah, there's a few. We had some 3-wide finishes. I want to say it was mostly in the Formula Fords, where it's been a crapshoot. And I feel bad for bringing this up, but watching Maurizio Naselli get beat up week after week after driving a textbook race, just being the innocent victim so many times.
He went through a string.
I wouldn't call it a highlight, but man, watching him persevere through it and keep racing, and always it's still like being the opposite of whatever I ever was in iRacing. Like I would get so mad. Yeah. I would get so heated, and he was always a gentleman afterwards. And coming up with the nickname the Janitor.
Yes, the Janitor, Jorg Monty. Oh, that
watching
guy.
Jorg go on it, like, because he was kind of the same way as Maurizio, except he wasn't always an innocent bystander. He was just pushing too hard a lot of times and getting himself into bad situations. And then all of a sudden he's like, I've had enough. And something changed. And he was absolutely just cleaning up. And it wasn't just in one car. It was in multiple series all at the same time. He was just mopping the floor with everybody. He was win after win after win after win. In the spec, I think it was in the Formula Fords, the one race he didn't win. He still finished second after spinning on the first lap.
Yeah.
Like it was.
Yep.
So I've got a while we're talking about the janitor there, Jorg Monty, and Jorg, I hope you're doing well. I need to reach out to you, man. I haven't heard from you, haven't talked to you in a while, but haven't seen you on track either.
I think he's got a little love life going on.
Jorg. Okay.
I think he's got some other priorities now.
Okay, all right. Well,
Masters on the track, Master in other places too.
But no, so I did a endurance race with Jorg, and this is the first time. You spend time with these guys in the Weekend Warriors. You spend 45 minutes in the chat with them, and then you're done for a week. I spent 12 hours with Jorg Monty when we were at Bathurst, and this guy, the reason he is so good at what he does, he drives hard, but if he gets wrecked, he's like, it's okay. It's fine. And he never drives with the red mist. I mean, it was pouring down at Bathurst. It was 80%, 100% rain, puddles everywhere. The guy spins out. He's like, it's fine. I'll figure that out next lap. And he just continues just to drive on. There's no red mist when it comes to Jorg Monty. Unbelievable the way that guy
And he looks to learn.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does.
He looks to learn from everything that happens.
Mm-hmm.
So, huge shout out, Jorg.
Yeah.
Miss you, bud. Yeah, Dan says he won the all three Masters Championship last season by a ton. So
yeah, it was landslide. It was amazing to watch. Like he flipped the switch, and he was always quick and he was always competitive. So I wasn't shocked to see him be competitive. He was just, it seemed like he was always snake bit, and I guess he built up an immunity to the venom because it was just a season of just win after win after win, highlight after highlight. He was just driving the wheels off those cars.
Yeah, he does.
I think most of us have been through something like that, like a season, 2, whatever, that it's like all the bad luck, whatever you do, it hits you.
It does.
And then all of a sudden it changes and you're the one that skates through the wreck, or you're the one that avoids it for whatever reason. And all of a sudden you're coming out on top.
But it's the mental fortitude to be able to get through that and move on from it. And that's something that not a lot of us have. Trust me, I know I'm not the one to let things go. So it's one of those things just to be able to get through that and keep moving on, and everything will turn around. And it does eventually. I mean, sim racing, life, anything, everything will end.
Yep.
There are blue skies ahead, but it's crazy to be able to have that fortitude to be like, oh, it's fine. It's fine. It'll get better.
Some people,
Antonio Reese.
Some people, Yep.
I mean, another guy there that has definitely done the same thing. I mean, last season when we were commentating on him, he was getting wrecked every damn race that he was in. Antonio, I don't know if you're listening right now, but
he's in there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Antonio did the same thing, but he comes back, and now look at him. He's killing it. It's just one of those things you got to get through.
Sometimes the people have to take a break. They have trouble getting through it, and it just keeps getting redder and redder, and you back off for a little while. And I've had to do that in the past. I mean, I've been doing this since 2011, and there's been a couple of times I had to take a break for a season or two, and Dan Sadros stepped in for me and ran the Weekend Warriors for a season. Somebody else did when I took and COVID hit, and I had a time off from work for 9 months, and we hit the road and traveled for 3 months. Well, I didn't have my rig, and somebody took over, and I did the admin stuff and that, but I had a break from racing, and I came back and was refreshed. So sometimes you got to do that as well. And I've heard recently there's a couple of people that are planning to do that. So
yeah, sure, absolutely.
Perseverance.
Like Jimmy Broadbent says, the cars aren't real, but the racing is. And the emotion,
very true.
The emotion can be there too.
And the one thing, the one thing that we talk about, I feel like I've talked about it over the last, how many podcasts have we done? 35. So the last 35, 36, 37 podcasts is the friendships that you gain from this are not worth the loss of getting mad over a race. It's really not. I've made so many amazing friends doing this, and I'm one, as Randall knows, that will get extremely heated. But the next day, I'll send you a message like nothing ever happened, because at the end of the day, it's the friendships that matter, not what happens on the track for one day, when friendships matter so much more than that.
Yep. Yeah. We've had some issues lately in the SRFs, and I've sent out a message to everybody saying it's time to reset and take a look at what we're doing. And remember, we're here for fun. I mean, we're all friends, and the friendships we have, and like you're saying, mean so much to me. This is my second, third family, whatever. And it hurts me to see people get to the point where they say, I'm done. And I told them in my message, if you want to leave because this isn't for you, that's okay.
Right.
If you leave because you're mad and don't want to put up with us, I don't want to see people leave for the wrong reason.
No.
So
yeah, there's no reason for that. There really isn't. And I want to get, while we're on this friendship topic, this is when I might get a little bit emotional. I got a bit of emotional with Edgar as well, talking about this. Fuck.
Maybe.
Oh, crap. Sorry. Screw you, Randall. Sorry, Stevie. You know what? You're rolling your eyes at me, but this was a very momentous.
This guy cries every time.
Dude, it was a moment in my life that you came
I've
through.
known to have a few leaks.
Yeah.
So I won't say nothing.
So here is a picture of my truck on the back of a U-Haul trailer in Glendale, Arizona. And the reason I put this picture up here, it only says 101. We might have some issues here. Let's see. One second. No, they're all there. I don't know why. Oh, there we go. It loaded. So
there you go.
This is a picture of my truck in a U-Haul trailer. What you don't know about this picture is about 2 days before that, Randall McGrew showed up to Glendale, Arizona. And I want you guys to think about something real quick here. Randall, I'll let you get a word in. I know this is your show. But I met this guy when I started broadcasting him. He was my first broadcast on Slow Motion Broadcasting. He became an admin in SMB. He became a racer in XSLR. I raced an AMS with him. I did all of these things with him. And one night, we're on Discord, and I'm like, yeah, I'm moving up to Nevada. Stevie kind of knows the story. I'm moving up to Nevada. I got a transfer up there to the 152nd Aerial Refueling Wing. I'm going to go work on C-130s. I'm like, Randall, you want to tag along? He's like, yeah, I'll tag along. I was like, wait, what? It's like, yeah, no, I'll do it. I was like, oh, okay. So Randall bought a plane ticket out to Glendale, Phoenix, Peoria, whatever you want to call it, Arizona. Helped me load that U-Haul trailer. I loaded that truck up, and we drove up to Carson City, Nevada, Randall and I. And now we can talk about this, Randall. This is your show now, buddy.
Yeah, that was I almost died on that trip.
Yes, yes, you did.
It was Adam's brilliant idea that we're gonna go load this storage room that he had on like the hottest day of the year at that point in Phoenix.
It was July. It was July 2nd when we decided to load our storage unit up in Phoenix, Arizona. It was 117 degrees.
Yeah. He's like, we're gonna go do it, and it was like 1:30 in the afternoon, so it was like the cool part of the day.
Yeah. Yep.
And we got about halfway through it, and I was in marine mode at that point, where just shut the brain off, keep working. Mm-hmm. But the body was like, fat boy, I don't think so. And I tried to power through it, and eventually I realized, whoa, Adam, I don't think I'm sweating anymore. This is a problem. I'm gonna go sit in the truck. So Adam Thompson almost killed me.
I did. And meanwhile, I'm sitting back there. By the way, Randall's sitting in the truck that you saw loaded on the trailer with the AC on and all that stuff, and I'm loading all this shit up by myself, right? And I'm thinking, you know what, Randall's going to be a good guy to have out here. He was a Marine. He was a medic in the Marine Corps.
I was not a medic. Stop it.
Well, no, you're not. What were you though? You dealt with helicopters and stuff, supply, right?
Yeah. No, logistics.
Logistics, whatever. Logistics and supply is the same thing. We can talk about that later. But moving on, he's in the Marines. He is a Marine. He's got this. He doesn't got this. 117 degrees.
Not the heat.
Nope. He goes to hang out in the truck, and I'm loading all this stuff up, and Randall's like, all apologetic. I'm sorry, man. I'm sure you didn't expect this when I came out here. And I was like, it's not a problem. It's not a big deal. And this is why it wasn't a big deal, this picture that I'm showing you right now. So starting from right to left, my wife on the right with our dog, Lewis.
My
wife. That's me in the middle. That's Jimmy Howitt, or that's me to the left of Sarah, and that's Jimmy to the left of myself. And there is that man that we're looking at right now with his bandana. And I think that was 4th of July at Lake Tahoe, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
Yeah. So we got to Nevada on the 3rd of July, and Jimmy had this bright idea to go up to Tahoe to watch the fireworks on the 4th of July. The problem with that was I didn't realize I was going to be the only one driving, and I have a Chevy Colorado. So we're jamming all 5 of these people you see in this picture and a dog into my Chevrolet Colorado and driving an hour to the lake.
You were cozy.
Oh, it was cozy.
Yep.
It was I think the trip back was the more interesting one. I was a little bit drunk, and it was nighttime, and I still had my sunglasses on.
Yes.
And Adam kept looking in the mirror and seeing me in my sunglasses.
Yeah, and we're gonna go to that picture right about now.
Oh no, this was the next night.
Oh, the next night. So you had your sunglasses on 2 nights in a row here.
Yeah, but this was after we had walked back from the bar. I was posing for a photo, so yeah, I had to put the shades on.
Yeah, so this is Jimmy to the left and Randall to the right here. Jimmy had a couple cowboy hats. Randall, you look good in cowboy hat, dude. You do.
I hate that I look so good in cowboy hats, honestly.
Final picture coming up here as well. There's Randall. There's Lou Dog. This is obviously us up in Tahoe again as well. Lou Dog is holding on to Jimmy for dear life. I will say, if you guys ever want a dog, this dog right here, I think Randall can attest to this. That may be one of the best dogs on the face of the planet.
He was a pretty good dog. Yeah, I'm not one for small dogs. If I want a dog, I want a bear. I want a big dog. But corgis are awesome. I would, if I want to get a dog, I'm going to seriously consider getting a corgi.
Yes,
they are just they have such personality, and to watch them run with that personality is pretty fun.
Yeah, they do. I mean, they've got great personality. I mean, we're sitting here 4th of July fireworks at Lake Tahoe. I mean, the fireworks are going off like crazy. Lou Dog was just hanging out, man. I mean, he was just enjoying the scenery. The fireworks didn't bother him. Those big ass ears can probably hear what's the July fireworks in Philadelphia. Let's be honest, but yeah, no, he's
he wasn't bothered by the fireworks. He was bothered by the people coming and going.
Yeah, he wanted to go say hi to everybody. That was the problem. But yeah, those are some pictures we got. Only got 4 of them here for you, Randall. But yeah, there you go, Stevie. Now you know a bit of a backstory. So does everybody else.
So is everybody else.
Randall,
we know who Randall is.
Yeah, Randall's a Marine. It's unfortunate that Randall is a Marine and not an Air Force vet like Stevie and myself, but it is what
somebody's got to be a man in this group.
Yeah, okay, Randall. Here we go again.
All right. With that little slam, what do you say? I don't have anything to fire back, so. No, I appreciate you.
Huh? Oh, we found more pictures now all of a sudden.
Uh-oh.
Oh, you sent to Randall and Randall never sent them to me.
Yeah. Yeah, she did send me more. I almost used one of them for the thumbnail.
The one you passed out on the couch?
Yep.
Yep. That's the one.
Yes. And you can tell it wasn't a normal sleep because my hand is still in my pocket.
Not going there either.
Yeah, so we've got we do have to ask this question. And I know your answer to this, Randall, already, but I'm going to let you answer it anyways. We have Jason Grider in the chat saying, what flavor are your favorite crayons?
You know, I'm sick of these stereotypes. I hear this all the time. Oh, Marines eat crayons. Oh, Marines eat crayons. They're so stupid. They eat crayons. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, what's your favorite color? Oh, I hear this. Some of the men that I served with, and women, by the way, some of the men I served with were some of the most highly intelligent people that I have ever met in my life. And also purple.
We got to end it out. We're ending it out right there, Stevie. You can't.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, Randall. Appreciate you taking time tonight to join us, share the stories, give everybody a chance to get to know you a little bit better. Look forward to having you on the comms. Like I said, amazing analytical thoughts on the races and what's going on. Love hearing all that stuff from you. So again, can't thank you enough for taking time and doing what you do with SMB and everybody else for the Weekend Warriors.
Well, it's great to be here. I finally got invited. I know I'm normally busy on Tuesday nights, but yeah.
Yeah, it's not our fault it's yours, dude. It's not our fault it's yours.
Yeah, we had to have wait till you had some time, but had to get you in here.
It was fun.
Yeah. All right. And with that, it was a fun night, and I think we'll call it a wrap. So thanks, everybody, for joining in. Great crew tonight in the chat. Appreciate all you guys. You make it fun. We'll see you next week.
Hey, Stevie.
Bye.
Air Force is still better than Marines, aren't they?
Yeah, whatever.
Goodbye.
Appreciate your time, Frank. This gentleman has done wonders for sim racing, the real world racers that come into sim racing or go back and forth. Frank's responsible to get some guys out on track. So without further ado, Mr. Frank Swartz, Grass Paddock Motorsports, tell us what you do.
What do we call this thing? Racing Line. I'm all out of sync. We got more people to deal with this week than what I'm used to. So thanks to my co-host, Jason, for joining us. Adam's back this week. And as you can see, we got a fourth sitting here. Megan Oversheet is already joining us to help us do some reviews and stuff. So thank you, Megan.
Let's go, Megan.
And help us. Good evening, Greg.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Hey, we're just getting ready to review the spec racers, and since we had an announcer in the waiting room, we thought we'd go ahead and bring you in.
Well, thank you very much.
There he is.
Hey, we got him.
Hey, Jason, we got you this time.
Cheers, guys. Thanks for having me.
We won't talk about the other.
Our special guest for the evening, Mr. Dave Ogburn, and for Dave to introduce you to these two knuckleheads, you got. Great to see you, Thor. Welcome to the fourth chair and the podcast this week.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. It feels surreal, like finally being able to talk to you guys. You know, I've been in this league for like what 2-3 years, and yeah, finally face to face.
Yes, of course, yes.
Jeff.
You on the spot now, Jeff.
Oh.
So, welcome, Mr. Jeff Jacobson. Again, great to have you here. Thanks for taking some time out to join us. We get to some fun part. That's why you're here, Jerry. This is our guest segment after the reviews. So, thanks for sitting through with us. And
that was fun.
And
thanks.
Yeah, it's some good racing. So, well, first of all, we gotta say thank you to Trenton for taking time to come join us. He's one of the hardest working guys I know, and you can look there in the shop behind him and get an idea of what he does. So as everybody sees, we've got Darren Ganji, and if you didn't know already, he is Mr. Sim Motion, where you can get all your sim rigs and equipment and everything. He's also the sponsor of that league we were just talking about.
Okay, go ahead.
Mr. Sean Ambrose, we go back forever, back to the very early beginning days of the Weekend Warriors when it was broadcasted on another broadcast, GSRC, I don't mind saying it. Very good to us. And Sean was one of the producers, announcers, always great to talk with.
So, Mr. Edgar Sancinelli, Weekend Warrior, Frito Sport Racing. I don't know what all you do, but great to have you join us tonight, Edgar.
Yes. I'm not saying shit. Oh, see, I literally. Whatever, I give up.
There you go.
I know you've had a mute for me.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, when you
yeah.
Just for the views when Adam and you were there. I mean, it's
yeah, it's
jeez.
Oh yeah.